this is Dr. Do again. This video is Outside the Medicine, Continue the Iliad by Homer. I'm going to read it. The armies looked on, wonder-struck, and marveled. Meriones carried off the double axes, all 10. Teucer took the single back to his hollow ships. Finally, Achilles produced a spear that trailed its long shadow, a cauldron too, untouched by fire, chased with flowers and words and ox, and set them down in the ring. And now the spear throwers rose up to compete. Atreus, Agamemnon, lord of the far-flung kingdoms, flanked by Idomeneus, more and ready, aid Meriones, but the swift-run Achilles interceded at once. Atreus, well we know how far you excel us all. No one can match your strength at throwing spears. You're the best by far. Take first prize and return to your hollow ships, while we award this spear to the fighter Meriones. If that would please your heart, that's what I propose. And Agamemnon, the lord of men, could not resist. Achilles gave the bronze-shod spear to Meriones, and the winning hero Atreus gave his own prize to his herald, Talthybius, the king's burnished trophy. Book 24. Achilles and Priam. The game were over now. The gathered armies scattered, each man to his fast ship, and the fighter turned their mind to thoughts of food and sweet warm grief of sheep. But Achilles kept on grieving for his friend, the memory burning on, and all's subduing sleep could not take him. Not now. He burned and twisted side to side. He longed for Patroclus' manhood, his gallant heart. What rough campaign they would have fought to an end together. What hardship they had suffered, cleaving their way through walls of men and pounding waves at sea. The memories flooded over him, live tear flowing, and now he'd lie on his side, now flatting on his back, now face down again. At last he'd leap to his feet, wander in anguish, aimless along the surf and down at dawn, flaming over the sea and the shore, would find him pacing. Then he'd yoke his racing team to the chariot's harness, lash the corpse of Hector behind the car for bragging, and haul him 3 times round the dead Patroclus' tomb. And then he'd rest again in his tents and leave the body sprawled face down in the dust. But Apollo pities Hector, dead man through his words, and warded all corruptions off from Hector's corpse, and round him, head to foot, the great god wrapped the golden shield of storm, so his skin would never rip as Achilles dragged him on. And so he kept on raging, shaming noble Hector, but the god in bliss looked down and pitied Priam's son. They kept on urging the sharp-eyed giant killer Hermes to go and steal the body, a plan that pleased them all, but not Hera, Poseidon, or the girl with blazing eyes. They clung to their deathless hate of sacred Troy, Priam and Priam's people, just as they had at first, when Paris in all his madness launched the war. He offended Athena and Hera, both goddesses, when they came to his shepherd's fold, and he favored love, who dangled before his eyes the last that loosed disaster. But now, at the 12th dawn since Hector's death, Lord Apollo rose and addressed the immortal powers. Hard-hearted you are. You, God, you live for cruelty. Did Hector never burn in your honor thighs of oxen and flawless, full-grown grads? Now you cannot bring yourselves to save him, even his corpse. His wife can see him, his mother and his child, his father Priam and Priam's people. How they'd rush to burn his body on the pyre and give him royal rights. But murderous Achilles, you gods, you choose to help Achilles, that man without a shred of decency in his heart. His temper can never bend and change, like some lion, going his own barbaric way, giving in to his power, his brute force and wild pride. As dawn, he swoops on the flocks of men to seize his savage feast. Achilles has lost all pity, no shame in the man, shame that does great harm or drive man on to good. No doubt some mortal had suffered a dearer loss than his, a brother born in the same womb, or even a son. He grieves, he weeps, but then his tears are through. The fates have given mortals hearts that can endure. But this Achilles, first he slaughters Hector, he rip away the noble prince's life, then lashes him to his chariot, drag him around his beloved comrade's tomb. But why, I ask you? What good will it do to him? What honor will he gain? Let that man beware, or great and glorious as he is, we, mighty God, will wheel on him in anger. Look, he outrages the senseless clay in all his fury. But white-armed Hera flared at him in anger. Yes, there be some merit even in what you say, Lord of the silver bow, if all your gods, in fact, would set Achilles and Hector high in equal honor, but Hector is mortal. He sucked a woman's breast. Achilles sprang from a goddess, one I reared myself. I brought her up and gave her in marriage to a man, Peleus, dearest to all your heart. You gods, all you gods, you shared in the wedding tides, and so did you, Apollo. There you sat on the feast and struck your lyre. What company you keep now, these wretched Trojans, you forever faithless. But Zeus, who marshaled the storm clouds, warned his queen. Oh, now, Hera, don't fly into such a rage at the fellow gods. Those two can never attain the same degree of honor. Still, the immortals loved Prince Hector dearly, best of all the mortals from in Troy, so I loved him. At least, he never stinted with gifts to please my heart, never once did my altar lack its share of victims. Wine cups tipped and deep smoky savor, these are the gifts we claim, they are our rights. But as for stealing courageous Hector's body, we must abandon the idea, not a chance in the world, behind Achilles' back. For Thetis is always there, his mother always hovering near him night and day. Now, would one of you gods call Thetis to my presence, so I can declare to her my sound decrees? Achilles must receive a ransom from King Priam. Achilles must give Hector's body back. So he decreed, and Ares, racing a gale wind down with Zeus' message, made sea between Sarnos and Imbros, rugged cliffs, dove in black swells as groaning breaker rolled. I'm going to stop here and continue next time. Thank you for watching.